Hello, welcome back to the series. I'm so glad to see you in here. Thank you so much for joining me. For those of you that are in here live with me, thank you so much for the hearts. I appreciate that in advance. For those of you that are watching this on the replay, thank you so much for watching this. I appreciate you. You can be on any channel at any time, but you chose to be here with me on LTTV. So, quick introduction for those of y'all that don't know me, you've never seen me, you've never heard my voice, you're like, who is this person? My name is Latasha L.T. Jimerson. I'm an author, teacher, book coach, and motivational speaker. And what I love to do, my favorite thing to do, is to help people write their book in 90 days or less with minimal stress. I do this because I have a process from start to finish where I help you write, I help you brainstorm, I help you publish, and I help you launch and sell your book. This is the love of my life. This is my passion. This is what I love to do for a long time now, since 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024. And so thank you for being here in my world. I so appreciate your time, your attention, and definitely go on over to YouTube. If you like content like this, you're going to find hundreds of my videos on YouTube, and it's called Your First Book 101, Stop Hiding and Get Published. That is the title of my YouTube channel, because I believe that we have a lot of really talented experts who are authorities in their field, but no one knows because they're hiding. And so I want you to come out of hiding. I want you to get published, and I want you to show the world what you've got, right? I want you to not only make a bigger and broader contribution to humanity, but I want you to dream bigger, and I want you to do more for yourself, your legacy, and your family. And so if you are attracted to this content and you want more of it, go to YouTube, look me up, Your First Book 101, and click that subscribe button and share with your friends and family members and anybody who you think would benefit from this content. Okay. All right. So today's topic is your first 10K from your first book, part 6 of 6. This is a series, and this is the last part of the series. So I'm super excited. Today, we're going to talk about branding, and I'm going to tell you what that means when you're an author, because the way that you brand yourself is a little bit different than the way that most people would brand themselves with other products. So let me just break it down for you. So first of all, when you think of a brand, you think of your favorite brand, you think of your, just think of a big brand that you love, right? And first of all, I'm not talking about a logo. Okay, the logo is the symbol. Mine is a book because I love books, but that's completely separate from the brand, right? When you think about the actual company and what it stands for, I want you to think about what it is that that company does for you, right? What does it do for you? And how does it make you feel? What is your experience like? Because we go to the same companies over and over and over again because we have an expectation of a certain experience, right? And so if there's a favorite shoe store that you like to go to, think about that for a second. I know a lot of people who love shoes, and not all shoe stores are created equally, right? Different shoe stores have different focuses. And same thing with clothes. If you go to a clothing store, certain stores offer certain things, but really you're talking about the experience. Are you into the premium luxury experience? Is that what you're talking about? Or are you talking about the average experience? Or are you talking about the bargain basement experience? Those are the 3 different levels of experiences. And so when you think of a brand, you think of, what is it that I'm getting from this brand? What is the experience that I'm having? And how are they living up to the expectation? And what is the expectation, right? And so when you apply this to being an author, first of all, it's a little bit different than regular products because what you're promoting and what you're selling is yourself as an author. Okay. Inside of that book product, it is a tangible book product, but it's a representation of what's in your mind. And so you're selling your ideas, and your ideas influence your identity and they shape your brand. And so people will come to you to get to know what it is that you do and how your knowledge can help them improve their lives. Okay. So it's really important for you to think about who you are as a person, who you are as an author, and what type of experience your book is going to give other people. Okay. So let's think about the different kinds of books. So are you a fiction writer? And does your book give people an escape into characters and setting and plot, right? Is that what it does? Is your book a romance novel and it gives them some spiciness to share with their spouse or their significant other, right? Is that what you're doing? Is that what your brand is all about? Or do you write about multiple topics and you're across your multi-genred, right? I like to say that. You're multi-genre. You write in different genres. I have a client who writes children's books, and she just currently wrote a book on teaching. And so how do we create that umbrella brand around what she's writing, right? Because not every author is completely committed to one brand. So what is the experience that you are creating inside of your book? I will give you an example from my brand. So my focus is helping first-time authors write their book, publish their book, put their book out into the world, and sell it, for the purpose of being able to create a legacy for their family, for the purpose of being able to become an expert in their field, open up opportunities for them to make more money. And a lot of my clients want to go into full-time writing, and they want to be full-time authors and let go of that 9-to-5 lifestyle. And so when you experience my company and you work with me and my brand, what you will experience is full support. I call it 360 degrees full author support. Support for you with coming up with your ideas, support with making sure that that book is a quality product, support with promoting it, launching it, and putting it out into the world and opening up multiple streams of income. That's what I provide to my clients, is an opportunity to become an author and to push that book out into the world to give them a platform to stand on, right? Your book, when you come to me, your first book is your foundation. It is what you stand on. It is the actual base that is going to allow people to experience who you are for the first time. They're going to be able to understand your particular gift and expertise. So getting this done the first time is really important to me. I focus on first-time authors because if I would have had a coach who would have taught me these things with my first book, I probably would not have written a second or third or fourth or fifth or sixth or seventh or eighth book. Right now, I have 8 books out in the world. And I made a lot of mistakes along the way. A lot of mistakes. And so what I do is I take all of that knowledge And I give that to my first time authors so that they don't make the same mistakes that I do. So they can go from 0 to 60 real quick. They can go from teacher to author real quick. They can go from 9 to 5 worker to author to coach to speaker to mentor to course creator to podcaster to YouTuber. They can do the entire branding process with me. And so what I do for people is help them change their identity through the process of writing, become the author, right? Because it's one thing to say, oh, I'm a best-selling author and put that next to your name. But it's really something transformational when you actually can walk through a process of becoming a different person. You have to behave like an author. You have to talk like an author. You have to look like an author. You have to negotiate like an author. You have to speak up for yourself like an author. You have to be an authority. That's what an author is, an authority in their field. And so you can't be afraid to speak up. You can't be hiding behind the scenes. You can't be scared of the consequence of your actions. You have to be willing to take a risk and put yourself out there and deal with whatever consequences may come. That's what you do when you're an authority. That's what you do when you're an author. That's what you do when you're a successful grown-up. You stand up for what you believe in, you announce to the world who you are and who you're not, and you walk forward in it. Les Brown says, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. You got to own your story. You got to own your story, embrace your story, love your story, and you got to walk in it. Your mess is your message. There is no testimony without a test. You're always going to go through something and be challenged. And so you got to think about what it is that is your identity. Who are you? And what is your message? What has your life taught you? That's what you got to think about. That's a part of your brand. What is it that your life has taught you? And how have you gotten from where you were to where you are today? What was your success formula? You see, I focus specifically and primarily on first-time authors that are creating a nonfiction work. Specifically a nonfiction work that is autobiographical, biographical, or memoir-ish, right? Which in a nutshell, that means your book is based on your story. And it doesn't have to just be your story. It has to be a lesson of transformation and how you overcame whatever it was that you went through. How did you overcome? How did you help yourself? And so essentially, it's going to turn into information that's going to help people make a transformation. That's what your book is going to be in the world. In order for you to make a big impact on humanity, you have to be able to go within and share with other people what you have learned through the process. And so here is what we want to do with our branding as an author. You want to become an authority in your space, and you want to dominate that space. So you want to find out, what space are you in? Okay. Are you in fitness? Are you in health and wellness? Are you in fashion and beauty? Where do you fit into the world, right? Are you into diets? What is your expertise? What do you know better than anyone else? What is it that people constantly ask you about that they don't really ask other people about? They just want to know from you, right? Are you great at parenting? Are you great at grandparenting? Right? Because that's an art and a science within itself. Are you great at relationship, like setting boundaries in relationships? Are you good at that? Right? Are you good at being a coach? Are you good at being a financial advisor? Are you good at being a teacher? What do you do? Are you a public speaker? Are you a mentor? Are you a course creator? Are you a podcaster? Are you a blogger? Do people love your food blog? Like, are you a foodie? Do you constantly post? I constantly post my food everywhere. And I post everybody else's food too, because I just love food. But that's not the space that I dominate, right? What space are you in where you dominate? Okay, that's what you got to figure out, because that's going to be a part of your brand. And you're going to have to make your brand the go-to in your space, which means you are the best in the world at what you do. How do you prove that? Well, that's why you have a book, because people who are experts can break it down real simple and put it into a book. And so that's what you need to think about as your brand. What space are you in, and how are you dominating that space? And what methodology do you have to be successful? What is your process? What is your system? What is your formula? What are your acronyms, right? And when people come to you, how do they feel about it? I was helping an author last night create a workshop based around the ideas in her book. And I won't share any of her information or details, but what came out of the conversation last night was so freaking phenomenal and amazing. Because one thing I love about her is that she is actually creating a brand before the book, right? Like, I did it completely the other way, and it worked out. I had a lot of bumps and bruises, but it worked out. I love her strategy. She's taking what she's learning from me, and she's remixing it and making it her own. And that's what we do as authors, because we have the authority to do what we want with our brand, right? And so she's creating a whole workshop series, and she's going to create an online course for people to experience her when she's not around. And then she's going to release very gradually her book. So people will be able to experience her first, and then experience her course, and then get her book. It is brilliant. So one of the things we were doing last night is dialing in her language so that she can attract the people that she wants to work with. We all are assigned people to work with, right? We are all assigned people to serve, because I work for servant leaders. My clients are servant leaders. They're teachers, they're mentors, they're authors, they're speakers, they're bloggers, they are college professors, they are ministers, preachers, and pastors, they are parents. And these people they understand how to lead and stand from the front, how to lead from the front, how to serve from the front, and how to give information to people that's going to help them transform their lives, how to help people. I help people who help people. Okay. And so the thing I love about her brand is that she has already created a whole business before her book comes out. She's already written the book. It's already there. But she's taking the time to allow that book to live outside of her. She's building a brand. And I'm so excited because I get to be a part of her process. I get to witness and experience her in all of her power, in all of her expertise, right? Because I love getting to see my clients serve their clients. Man, that just lights me up. I'm like, look at her, she's going. Yes. because that is what God put us here to do, to live in our full power in abundance. Abundance is money, yes, okay? Abundance is also positive relationships, quality time with amazing people. Abundance is love, it's joy, peace, harmony. It's all the goodness in life, but it's also abundance is about creating a holistic view, creating a whole life. Okay. I don't want you to believe that just because you're writing a book, that's it. It stops at the book. No, it starts with the book. And so what we're doing for her brand is freaking phenomenal, because we are building a workshop series, and that is going to turn into courses. And that is going to turn into her service. And then she's going to roll out the book. And so people will be able to experience her in many different levels. And she's very intellectual, very philosophical. And so the conversations are high level, right? They're high level. And so it's going to take people a while to get used to her vocabulary, because it's great. It's amazing. She's going to stretch your brain. She's going to make you think. And this is what I love about working with servant leaders. She's an educator. Like, I'm an educator. It's in my blood. It's in my DNA, right? It's in my bones. It's in every part of my being. And so her experience in education and her gift for teaching is getting ready to shine. And that's the exciting part of the brand. When you are operating in your full power, you will shine. People will see you and they will be like, whoa, whoa. I don't know what kind of Kool-Aid he's drinking, but I want some of that. Can I get some of that? Right? When you're operating in your full glory, you're being who God wants you to be, and you are doing what you're supposed to be doing, God honors you. And God sends you the best of the best to work with. And that is what I want for you as an author. I want you to produce the best work that you can, so that your brand is the best in your category. Okay? I want your brand to stand out above everyone else's. When people see your book, they hear your name, they look around, they're like, wow. And this is something so funny. Let me share a little story with you, because I laugh at this. I chuckle at this, because this happens all the time. When people meet me online or they meet me in person, when people first come in contact with me, they're like, what the heck? What does she do? Who is she? They're a little bit confused about what it is that I do. They're like, what is happening? And then as we get into our conversation and we engage, then they're like, whoa, she's really knowledgeable. She really knows what she's talking about. She knows her ish. Because I study. The Bible says, study to show thyself approved. And you need to study. You got to study, right? That's one of the things. You need to know that you know that you know what the hell you're talking about. And if you don't, you need to not talk about it. Right? You're only going to produce a book that's about something that you know. Right? That's all you're going to do. Stay in your lane. And that's how you build a really solid brand, is you stay in your lane and you talk about what you do know, and you don't talk about what you don't. And so people ask me this question. It's so funny. They say, what's your book about? Did you write a book? And I'm like, I've written 8. And they're like, wait, what are your books about? And it's hilarious because I'm like, you haven't looked up my books yet? You've been talking to me all this time. You haven't done your homework on me? And it's like, what? But the funny thing about it is, and what I've realized is, people are attracted to me because of what I represent. And it doesn't matter which one of my books they read. Doesn't matter if they ever read any of my books. They are drawn to me because I'm in my purpose and I'm in alignment with what I'm supposed to be doing. And that's what they want. To know, how can they be the person that they're supposed to be? And that's the difference between the successful person and the unsuccessful person. Successful people are who they are, and they're just fine with being. Unsuccessful people are still trying to figure it out. So it doesn't matter what your book is about, boo. It doesn't really matter the title, the picture. It doesn't really matter, how long it is, how many pages and all that kind of stuff. Does it matter the acknowledgments and the author bio and all those parts? What matters is, how well do you sell and promote yourself? Do people want to be near you and your ideas? Are you growing? Are you progressing? Are you offering something different? Right? Because you got to look at the market and find out where the gaps are and figure out how you can fit into those gaps, because you are providing a service. Your book is a product, but you're also providing a service because you're giving that person an escape. You're helping them. And when they come to you and they ask you for an interview, they ask you to speak, you're giving away a piece of yourself to bless somebody else. And so when you think about your book, I don't want you to just think about it as one single product, because your book is you. And your book can be your curriculum for your workshop. If you already have a book, why aren't you teaching workshops? Right? I meet so many authors that are like, hey, I got my book, but I need help with marketing. Okay, so the first thing is, have you done a workshop? No? Why not? Your book is the curriculum for the workshop. You don't have to think or plan. You show up with the book and you read it. Done. Right? I come across so many people that are like, I'm on my 5th book. And I was proud of myself too when I was on my 5th book, because my 5th book was actually the book that actually makes me any money, to be honest. My 5th book is the book, it's the workbook for my course, which is the curriculum for my workshops. And it's your first book workbook. And it teaches people the steps on how to get a book done in 90 days or less with minimal stress. And if you follow the instructions, you will be successful. If you don't follow the instructions, you will be frustrated. Because I break it down and I make it very simple, very clear. But some people like to remix it and do their own thing and throw a monkey wrench in it. And so that happens. But my most popular book is Your First Book Workbook, because it teaches people how to do what I did without making all the mistakes. Okay? But I meet people who are on their 5th or 6th or 7th book, and they're so proud. Yay, I have 7 books. Yay, I have 8 books. And really, no one cares about 7 of them. I don't even promote them, because really the one that I want people to really get is the Your First Book, because that's what people ask me about. So that is my expertise. I wrote a book about parenting. I wrote a book about teaching. I wrote a book about self-care. I wrote a book about my own personal story, my memoir. But people always come to me and ask me, how can I become a successful author in less time? And so that is my expertise. That is what I've shown people how to do. I have walked 50 people through my process from being a writer to being a published author who opened up multiple streams of income. And several of my clients are now book coaches, and some of them have left their teaching careers and they have retired and opened up a whole new career for themselves. Because this is fun, right? Once they get in here, dive into the pool and start drinking the Kool-Aid, they realize, oh my gosh, this is super fun. You know why? Because you get to set the rules. When you have your own business, you get to set the rules. You set the rules. You set the standards. You create your brand, and you decide how the world will remember you. And so that's what this branding thing is about for authors. It's not about writing your 5th book or your 10th book. It's what do people expect from you? And when they come to you, how is it that you're making them feel? And how are you helping their lives to become better? What are you doing to help them take action and do the things that they know they want to do? Are you inspiring these folks? Is your brand inspirational? Is it motivational? Is it transformational? Right? That's what you want to think about when you are branding yourself as an author. And the 10K will come from the first book, but you got to be willing to put in some work. You have to do that workshop. Do that workshop. Okay? Do it. Get that book. Use it as the curriculum. Print worksheets from the book. Okay? Create the coaching program, right? If there's people coming to you asking you to coach them, send them an invoice and start your business. If there's people that are asking you to speak on stage, send them an invoice and start your business, right? If they're saying, you know, I want you to come speak, but we don't have a budget, we don't pay speakers. Okay, well, send them an invoice to buy 100 books. How about that? Yes, I will speak for free. However, you got to buy 100 books, period. Authors speak up for themselves, and they negotiate well, and they get what they want. If they don't want to pay you, they don't want you that bad. Okay? Deal with it. All right. I see we have a couple people here live. Thank you so much for the hearts. I appreciate it. If you have any questions about branding as an author, let me know. Type them in the comments. That would be awesome. There's no question that's a bad question. The only question that's the bad question is the one you don't ask. So if you have a question, if something just popped up, don't stop yourself, right? We tend to do that. We have a question and then we're like, quiet all that. Just type the question and I'll answer it for you live. If you're on the replay, thank you so much, replay family. I know a lot of y'all watch my stuff on the replay. I appreciate you. And just put hashtag replay. Tell me what day you're watching this. And I always go back and circle around and interact with you. And it's a good time. It's a good time. It's a good time to be alive. It's a good time to be a woman. It's a good time to be an author. It's a good time just to be a human. Despite what's going on in the world, we still have an advantage over the other organisms because we have the ability to think and reason and dream and build. We were created by a creator for the purpose of creating. If you ain't creating, you're dying. If you ain't creating, you ain't participating. And if you ain't participating, you are dying. So get out here into this arena, Brene Brown says, and I know I'm going to mess this up, so just Google it. She has a quote that says, "I'm not interested in your feedback unless you're in the arena getting your ass kicked like the rest of us." So amazing. Yes. You don't be interested in anybody's feedback unless they're in the arena getting their ass kicked like you. See, you're attracted to me because you are just like me. You are ambitious and smart and amazing and compassionate, and you're a servant leader and you want to help people. You have a big heart. But you also want to get compensated for what you do. You want to get paid your worth. And you want to have the freedom to enjoy your life your way. And so the best way to do this is to start branding yourself right now. Before your book even comes out, start to have these conversations with people and start to go to Google and do some research, and go to YouTube and do some research and find out how to brand myself as an author. Type it up. Type it up. And if you need to do a marketing strategy session with me, let me know. I will send you the link to book that session. Because it's time. It's time for you to get this done. You've been waiting and procrastinating, and you've been watching and wishing and doing all of that. That's not going to take you from 0 to 60 real quick. You're going to have to start making the time, the energy, and the money to invest in yourself. That's what you got to do. The minute I started investing in myself is when I started winning. The moment I started betting on myself, I started winning. Every time I bet on me, I win. All I do is win, win, win. And it's the same thing for you. As soon as you start betting on yourself, you will win. You ain't winning right now because you're betting on everybody else. You're serving everybody else. You don't even have your own cup. You're trying to pour into everybody else from a water hose. Stop doing that. I used to do that. 2015, I used to do that. I don't do that anymore. Pour into your own cup. That is the only way you're going to be able to build a successful business, a successful brand that will stay around for the rest of your life and for the rest of your great grandchildren's lives. Because that's really why we do what we do. We really are about serving our family, serving our kids, serving their kids. And so stop being selfish and hesitating and not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Stop it. Get about the business of building your brand, get your book done, and get yourself out into the world and be everything that you were supposed to be from day one. Okay? Now, if you have any questions, then you need to go straight over to my Facebook group, because that is where we're buzzing with questions and answers and more trainings like this. I have 2 Facebook communities. So if you're in research mode and you've been researching what this is all about, self-publishing, and you're just getting into this, join my Facebook groups. There's 2 different groups. One of them is Your First Book Club. That's for people who are just kind of like still thinking about writing a book. And then the other group is Your Next Book Club, How to Relaunch Your Book. And that's for people that already have books. They're trying to relaunch it. And so they go in there and they ask questions about that. Okay. All right. And then, of course, if you're on YouTube and you just love binge watching, I love binge watching content. And so go to my YouTube channel, Your First Book 101. And it says, stop hiding and get published. Click subscribe, click that notification bell, share the video with your friends, and have a wonderful life. I'll see you on these internet streets, on YouTube, and hopefully in my Facebook community. Bye.